everyone, and welcome to an Appo a Day. This is your host Appo here. How are you all doing? It's been like a month-ish, a little bit longer. I didn't do anything for the month of January. I'm getting settled back into school again, so I like to just give ample time for that. So probably that'll be like a thing I'll be doing until I graduate. So taking that whole first month, each semester off, planning and stuff for the podcast, as well as getting ready to give you guys new, fresh content. So as always, we're gonna start off by doing our 5-minute meditation, and we'll start that right now. The more I practice self-love, the more love comes to me. I free myself from toxic environments. Self-love is my greatest achievement. I am wonderful even when I am not perfect. I love my true self. I know that growth can be scary, but I am brave. I am worth a healthy and loving relationship. I love being my authentic self. I'm excited to meet the person I'm becoming. I love the person that I am and the person that I'm becoming. I inhale confidence and exhale doubt. I love myself enough to make a fresh beginning. I am free to be the best version of myself. I am choosing to step up my life. I choose to love myself today. My life has value and purpose. I'm worthy of it all. I don't need to be perfect. I am good and beautiful enough the way I am. I release any limiting beliefs I have about myself. I am light in human form. I love the person smiling at me in the mirror. I am becoming a better version of myself each day. I feel my confidence coming in waves, and like the sea, I am a powerful force, no matter whether the tides are coming in or out. I practice self-kindness and self-compassion. I give myself grace and forgiveness just as much as I give to others. I'm my own best friend. I am my own best advocate. I show myself kindness and forgiveness. I only spend time with people who add to my life. I choose to feel happy because it's the best way to live my life. I am healing generations through self-love. I'm committed to being my healthiest self. I deserve kindness. I see strength and power when I look in the mirror. I am thankful that I can allow my soul to shine unapologetically. I am a beautiful and wonderful being. Everything is unfolding as it's supposed to. I do not need anyone else to make me happy. I'm excited to discover new things about myself during this fresh beginning. All right, and that'll do it for our 5-minute meditation. Let's go ahead and get into the episode topic. Hello. If you notice there's anything different with the sound quality or this just overall sound, I am recording from a different place right now. I'm actually in my car. So let me know what you guys think of the change, if you like it, if you don't like it. Yeah. So today's topic question is, if I didn't have my current responsibilities and if there were no restrictions on me, I would ... So I think, funny enough, for this topic question, I actually had a really hard time trying to figure out what I would do. And the reason for that is because everything that I want to do in general in life, I'm already working towards doing them. Like, in the sense that when I get them, it'll be satisfying that I get them the way that I get them. For example, being in pharmacy school, working in school to get good grades, to get the honors that I want, to be involved in my school like I want, to have the opportunity to have the job that I want, to make the money that I want, to be able to do all the other things that, requires money to do. And some of them I listed here. A lot of them, to a certain extent, require money. So at first glance, and even upon days of consideration, because I thought about this for like the whole month of January, there's not really anything that I'm not currently doing or working towards doing that is really limited by responsibilities or restrictions other than time and money. Alright. So that being said, some things I did find that I guess are right now things that I could think of, but are more towards thinking about what I will be getting done, especially in the coming years, in the coming months, even coming days, even. The first is travel. I've never traveled outside the U.S. I've never flown on a plane before. So, for most people, you know, I feel like they have done something to a certain extent like that. Whether it's like, flying on a plane just in general within the United States, or they've been out the country. A lot of people have traveled, right? And I think it's a really, really cool um, opportunity to, expose yourself to the world that is not your own, to culture that is not your own, to ideals that are not your own. I think it's a really, for one, eye-opening experience. But I also think that it's something that everybody should do. And I've been on plenty of road trips with my family before growing up. And, it's really nice to, take that scenic route, be able to, see what is there for me. Like, I like looking at nature. I like seeing, the plains, the trees, the flowers. I like seeing those things and how they varied, going across state lines and stuff. I really appreciate that aspect of the world, especially of nature, because I've traveled throughout the seasons, spring to winter, right? And it's very interesting to me to see how the world changes on such a small scale, but like within a year, but also in like such a even smaller change, like, in like a day or a month or something, um disaster strike, natural disaster strike. I saw how much it changed my city when I was living in Louisiana. And I've seen, how things have changed and, have gotten better after the fact. It's very interesting to compare the beauty before the destruction and then compare it to like the after. So change is quite literally everywhere in that aspect. Beyond that, I will be traveling this year. Hopefully I'm going to some conferences for some of the organizations that I'm in. Hopefully I can go to at least one conference in each organization that I'm in to some extent. Whether it's like, a regional or a national, I want to go to at least one of each. I think it's really interesting to see how well I can adult, I guess. The progression of like me growing into the woman I am becoming, like I've said in my meditation, and how those experiences will change me as compared to like how experiences that I've had thus far have changed me, and have helped me grow and learn so much. Travel is definitely at the top of my list of things I would love to do more of if I did not have the restrictions. Like, for example, if I could just, snap my finger and go somewhere, I would definitely go quite a few places. Next, as I mentioned before, that some things you do require money to do. One of these things I want to do, I guess, is, people want to have more money, for the most part, but I feel like, what you want money for, defines a lot about you. For me, I want more money to make more memories. I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to become a better individual, a better person in all aspects to which it can apply. I just want to be better than I was yesterday. And I want to spend money that I do get towards that kind of development. Whether that being me going out with friends and, making memories that way, or it's just me doing something for myself, the betterment of myself, in some way, form, or fashion. This one kind of goes hand in hand with the one I just said, with spending more money on memories. I would like to develop more soft skills. I'll say, like, right now, I have so many courses on Udemy that I have yet to finish. Most of them aren't based in, it's just like, you have to have the motivation, you have to have the time to do it. And I personally have noticed that, like, I kind of been lacking in motivation to do something. It's not that, it honestly isn't the lack of motivation to do it, because, like, I can say a million times in my mind, I want to do it. But it's like the getting up and, the sitting down and doing it. In that sense, but it's also like, choosing, or I would say more so now, it's choosing what I want to spend my time on. Because I feel like before in life, for me, I didn't have as many choices or as many options on how I would want to spend my time. And now I have so many options with how I want to spend my time. Do I want to spend it with this friend? Do I want to spend it with that friend? Do I want to go get food here? Do we want to go do this activity? Do I want to stay home? Do I want to read? Like, there are so many things that I have to choose between now and on an everyday basis. And some things just, fall to the wayside in that sense. You have time for quite a few things. You really do. And then in certain aspects, you kind of don't. Like, you don't have time, all the time in the world. You don't have all the time in the day to do every single thing. There's certain things you can only do during certain times. It's only a certain amount of, I can't just do all the things, unfortunately. Over time, you can. Like, I can eventually finish all those Udemy courses over time. But it's obviously not something that's going to happen in a day. And that's one of the things I think a lot of people have to start to realize, is that not everything, Rome was not built in a day. Not even two, in fact. Greecians and the Romans, they were very, very adept for their time, but they couldn't even do that stuff in a day, So, that being said, and understanding that aspect of it, I guess, my message would be to give yourself more grace and more patience with yourself for reaching these goals, because, as I said, this is a question that's asking unrestricted, but these are obviously coming from places where these are things you want to do at some point in your life, right? Give yourself time, give yourself patience, give yourself grace, give yourself forgiveness to get to those places, to achieve these things. As I said, y'all know I'm a professional, student. That's like my favorite. That's like my favorite job, to be honest. I love to learn. If unrestricted, I would just gain all the knowledges. All the knowledge that is available, I would just, gobble it up like a pie. Unfortunately, can't do that because not enough time. Not enough time, unfortunately. But I can, pick out the things that are going to mean the most to me and focus on those things. And focus on how those things are going to be meaningful for me. How they're going to make a difference in how I move about life, how I interact with others, how I treat others, all of the sort. And that kind of leads into my last point here that I've written, which is that if unrestricted, I would just want to teach others in various things, in various scopes, from all the knowledge that I've gained, all the soft skills that I gained. And as much as it's going to be meaningful to me in my life to spend more money to make memories, they would potentially be spending money to make a memory as well. Like, that would be a memory for me, it would be a memory for them if it would be like something like I do, like a masterclass or whatever. But in general, it's just very interesting, to see how things work out. How, for me, even, having a whole month to think about this topic question, because I had this topic question written before I left for Christmas break or winter break, and I had, plenty of time to ponder it, and, like, it's still things that, for me, that are things I will eventually get done. These are all things that I'll eventually do. To some extent, I already do them, So, in that sense, it'd be like developing more of what I'm already doing, or going farther into what I'm already doing. I mean, quite frankly, I've done all of this already, but it's stuff that I still want to do. Travel. I mean, I moved. I'm adulting. Like, I have family here, but, like, I'm adulting. I'm doing things, like, sufficiently and independently, So that's, like, one. Spending more money on memories. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've gone out to eat with people in my class, and just in general, like, spending time with others, using money to create memories, has meant a lot. Developing more soft skills. There's so many things I've learned, and it's really cool now that, like, some of my soft skills, I would say a lot of my soft skills are actually being used to, like, do some of these other things. So, like, for example, me loving to organize things and be, like, very, like, put together in that sense, That's helping me and my friends plan to go to Dragon Con. Haha. Dragon Con. It's happening in August if y'all haven't heard about it. Big cosplay event. And me and my friends are gonna be there. So it's like, a soft skill that I developed before that, was initially just gonna be used in general for myself. And, like, work and stuff, like, I can use it to, like, make a better experience for everybody. And, we're spending money to create those memories together. Even on this podcast, I gain memories in those situations. I gain experience. I gain knowledge from all kinds of sources, and I use it to teach you guys. I use it to teach, people that, I've mentored in the past, to teach people that, mentor me. Like, it's never just, life is never just a teacher-student moment. Like, it is a very back and forth exchange of information, If you think about it, a teacher teaches you some subject matter or topic, and you study it and you take a test on it, and the teacher gives you feedback, saying, like, you don't understand this as much, and then you go to your teacher and, like, well, this is in the PowerPoint, but their reviews come out at the end of the year or semester for that instructor, and you tell them how they did. So even in, like, the smallest aspect, you are never just learning and you're never just teaching. You're doing both at all times, whether in or out of school. Like, that's just in general what happens for you as a person. And I think it's interesting that we have that. People know about that on such a like large scale, but apply it to yourself. Learn to apply those types of things to yourself and how life is for you. Um, some people, they don't really see, where it can be a lesson or why are we learning this? That's the question I always heard so much. That was like probably the most asked question I heard growing up in school. Why are we learning this? What use is this going to be towards my life in the future? For me, I like to, you know, find where it would work. I see like where things can work in that type of way. But not everybody can, not everybody does. And that's okay, you know? It's perfectly fine. That's perfectly okay. What I think is the biggest thing that people should be aware of is that there can be a lesson in everything. Good, bad, or indifferent, there is a lesson somewhere, some way, somehow. You just have to let your mind be open enough to see it. Open enough to gaining the knowledge that is going to be presented to you from that lesson. Sometimes we'll miss out on the lessons that are presented to us, and sometimes, I feel like a lot of times, the same lesson is repeated until we get it. If you do decisions, like, for example, if you constantly choose to not study for your exam and then wonder why you always get a bad grade on your exam when you know you needed to study, the lesson is that you should have studied, some people don't realize that is a lesson that they need to take into account and actually really, really apply, not just to that one aspect of what has affected them in life, but to like all aspects of their life. Because realistically speaking, you're always gonna have that. It's not gonna be something that ever changes. A lot of people, when they're out of school, some of them miss school, some of them don't. But a lot of people do miss. I find that they miss that structured aspect of school. Yes, they can get more free time. They don't have to, report to somebody in the same way. Like, if you go to a job, you still have to, be there for X number of hours or do something for X number of hours. You, for the most part, unless you're an entrepreneur, even if you're an entrepreneur, you're reporting to somebody. That just somebody, maybe somebody else or yourself, So, I think another lesson to take away from this episode today is understand what you expect of yourself. Your goals, are they realistic? Are they not realistic? Are they achievables in a couple of days, a couple months, a couple years, a couple decades? Like, what are your goals? How achievable are they? And what are you doing now that is, like, I guess, a smaller or diluted form of what you hope to achieve? Right? So I mentioned that, like, I'm basically doing everything I listed right now already. And I guess me looking forward is looking to how those aspects will grow. And how they will change. So you have to ask yourself, what are you doing now that is restricted? And what would you do unrestricted? How are they the same? How are they different? What are you doing now to get to the point where most of what you do feels unrestricted? I know a lot of people look to like money. It's a very simple example. Like, a lot of people, when you have more money, you can do a lot more things. Like, you can go, I don't know, get Starbucks every day if that's what you want to do. Like, you can afford that. It's like a treat or a luxury, and like, just, that's your coffee. You have that as a choice, versus if you know, don't have the money to put into, getting Starbucks every day. You might just get it like once a week, once every 2 weeks, once every month. And it could be because you don't have the money for it. But on the other hand, it could also be because you find value in other things, A $6 drink at Starbucks, you mean, just like, you can get a whole meal at McDonald's, kind of. You can make a meal at McDonald's. I'll say that. You can get things to make a meal, because I know how groceries are nowadays. It's crazy. They're expensive. My gas, my chicken. No. Um I think that's gonna be my leave in question for you guys. Is to I'm gonna pose the same question to you guys. What would you do if you had no responsibilities and no restrictions? What in life would you do? What could you achieve? And if it is different from what you're doing right now, or if it is like what you're doing right now, what steps are you taking to achieve those goals? So I'm gonna count this off with 3 good things. Um, 3 good things that have happened like this past month. So getting to know more people. Making like better connections with individuals like within my department at school. Figuring out like where I want to go, what people I want to have around me. That's one. I'm getting a little bit more of motivation to do more things. I don't know if I should go into that or not, but just more motivation to do things, to be more that I am, to have like a greater effect, to influence people more in a positive way, to give them more advice, to be more helpful, I think that's a really good aspect that has improved so much since I've gotten here, which I appreciate. I mentioned it a little bit before, but DragonCon and conferences, so that's like the aspect of travel. I'm not traveling, but my friends are traveling to come see me where I am in Georgia, and I think it is so cool to be able to make memories like that, to be able to grow, and I said just, see what lessons I can learn from those experiences. I can't wait to cosplay again. I can't wait to do like makeup again in that sense, like really, get the artistic juices flowing. And just use things in general that I don't really use before. I would say the larger part of that is a lot of things that I was very, very worried about and very, very scared about being traits of me as a kid, young adult, a teen, young adult. A lot of the aspects that were I was very afraid that were not going to be accepted are things that, I found that people love the most about me. So I think I've mentioned before, but getting to that place, you feel so much appreciation for the decisions you've made thus far, and it helps you to live life without really having regrets. It helps you to really find the value in how you make decisions and how you live your life, which I think is a really, really important thing that a lot of people miss out on. So, that being said, those are my 3 good things. I'm really happy to be back. I'll probably be actually recording and posting on Fridays now, since I kind of have Fridays off. I kind of studying stuff, but I have Fridays off, so instead of doing Thursday night recordings where I have like really long days, like y'all knew I had really long days last semester on Thursdays, I have it again Thursdays this semester. So hopefully that will work out a lot better now. So y'all can hopefully expect, once a week podcast back. But as always, I'd like to thank you guys so much for I almost said watching. I'm not video recording. YouTube brain. Thank you guys so much for listening in. Thank you guys for being a part of my podcast. If you are new here, please subscribe, please rate. 5 stars if you feel like podcast deserves so. Welcome. Welcome to, or welcome back to An Afro a Day. I appreciate you guys for listening in. And as always, have a good one. Bye, guys.